Here, head coach Cami Etheridge. Coach, just opening thoughts on tonight's 85-56 win over Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Well, I'm excited for our team to just get back on the winning track and played a unbelievably, scrappy team, high risk, high reward team, real versatile that can break you down off the dribble and kind of exposed us a little bit in the first half, and they put some points on the board. Their rebounding bothered us. It was a team that I think plays a little unorthodox, especially compared to what we just faced. And I thought it took us a little bit to figure out how to guard them a little bit better. And I thought at least at halftime we changed some things. We just kind of addressed some things and ended up having a really good second half defensively. And offensively, same thing. I thought they make you play kind of crazy. It's not like a game where you make a lot of calls and can execute exactly the way you want to, because they're going to throw things at you and you're just going to have to go make plays. And I liked how our team did that tonight.
I know we always talk about this. Seems like we go back to rebounding, but of their halftime rebounds, they were in the lead there in rebounding. You guys were able to finish with a 42-39 advantage on the boards. What was that message in the locker room to the team to just get better on the glass?
Well, our message was just they were on pace to have 22 offensive rebounds if they kept it up in the second half. So that meaning they had 11 at halftime, and that's a game full of offensive rebounds. So we played a little game in the second half and said, let's hold them to 15. And they ended up so only 4 in the second half, and they ended up with 15. And that seemed to motivate our players a little bit to play that little game, because they got real serious about boxing out a little bit better. But whatever we do, I mean, the point is that's still not a habit of ours. Rebounding, defensive rebounding, keeping people off the offensive glass is not still our strong point, and it's going to hurt us as we go on in this season, and it'll probably hurt us on Sunday, because Gonzaga is a tremendous rebounding team. So the message is the same. We've got to quit just turning and looking at the ball, and we've got to box out, and we've got to finish possessions with rebounding.
You scored a season-high 85 points. You had 3 players in double figures, shot over 50% from the board. How does that feel just after the 3 straight opponents that you saw and how tough those 3 defensive teams were?
Well, it's good to just put some points on the board. Again, I don't know that it's a game where we'll go watch a lot of film and pick apart our execution, because there wasn't a lot of that. There wasn't a lot of things that we really ended up calling, but it was good to see Bobby, create baskets for herself and be aggressive in the post, and us move the ball well and find people, on some easy baskets. Turnovers are still a concern against this team. We had 15 tonight, and that's a little bit too many, but I'm really happy with the fact that we, Yo kind of came back to life. She didn't have a great tournament, and obviously the two kids that are just unbelievably consistent for us, Bobby and Nell, are their usual selves. So we still need to find a few other people that can put some points on the board for us, but it's a pretty good overall night for us.
Bobby's nickname's Bobby Buckets, but she may be working on a new nickname as hard as she's crashing the boards this year. She got her second double-double. She's flirted with a double-double several times, almost every game this season. She finishes tonight with 10. What is it just about her presence of mind of getting better on the boards and just crashing the boards harder this year and just pulling down those rebounds?
Well, I mean, Bobby is a great offensive player, and but I think she's also been a player that is affected by her offensive game and isn't always as committed to the defensive end of the floor. And so we've just kind of put the challenge to her to try to be a little bit better defensive player, and that, in so many ways that entails rebounding, finishing plays with rebounds. And I think she's made a big commitment. Again, she feels good this year. She's moving better. Her body is she's in pretty good shape. We've just got to continue to stay on her, because we've got to have. She's going to be on the floor a lot, so she should get some rebounds, and her size entails that she should get some rebounds. So we've got to kind of expect it from her instead of being surprised when it happens. We've got to start expecting it from her.
You're going to end a stretch here of five games where you're playing 4 ranked opponents on Sunday. You have number 17, number 18 Gonzaga coming down from Spokane. What's your team doing to prepare for the Bulldogs, and what are you going to take out of this game to really help prepare for Sunday?
Well, we're going to take tomorrow off because I think we're a very tired team. We worked really hard the last 2 days, and knowing that tomorrow would be off, and they don't have class until 10:30. So I really think tomorrow needs to be just a huge day for them to recover and take care of their bodies and come back, and we'll have 2 great days of practice to get ready for Gonzaga and to continue to improve on the things that we need to. Again, we were exposed a lot in the Virgin Islands, and perhaps played 2 of the top 5 teams defensively in the country. Maybe all 3 of them are top defensive teams in the country. So it can't get any harder on us. And so we learned a lot about ourselves, and we learned what those guys do, and all 3 of the teams and what they do. And if we want to be that, we've got to aspire to some of those things that aren't really our habits yet. Defensive end, executing, spacing, and the intensity that the game entails. And I just think Gonzaga is just like that. I mean, Indiana a week ago was 17. So now it's Gonzaga. So I'm not so sure that they're not higher than that. So it's a great, great challenge for us to play an established program that wins and knows how to win and expects to win. So it's a great challenge for us, and I'm glad we're at home, and I'm excited for our team to have 2 really great days of practice to get ready for them.
How excited are you and your staff to be able to so quickly put those lessons that you learned against those 3 ranked teams back into practice against another ranked team so quickly?
Yeah, I mean, I think this game was a little bit different because they play so different. So we really trained hard and tried to work on our conditioning and things like that and just get through this game. And then we'll spend 2 good days on Gonzaga. And it's so good to play Gonzaga because they're so typical of what we'll see in the league. So it's back to the more traditional what we might see. They're so good in the post. We don't have great depth in the post right now. Don't have a lot of depth anywhere right now. So we're going to have to be so perfect almost to play well with them. So, but the way they play, if we're not good enough to match them, we better get there because everybody else in the league plays like them. So it's just a typical, almost a Pac-12 opponent early in the season, and we've got to figure out how good we are against that kind of team. And again, their expectation of winning, I think, carries a lot of weight for them. And we've got to grow in that area of where we expect to win and compete every single time we step on the court.